Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back for another episode of the award-winning Hill Country Podcast. I'm absolutely thrilled today to have back with us Dr. Brent Ringo, fellow Texas Longhorn. Dr. Ringo, welcome back to the pod.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me again.
So you had some just fabulous, stunning, I'm not quite sure how to characteristic news that I read about in the Kerrville Daily Times about a donation to the Kerrville Independent School District. So I'm going to start with asking you to tell us about that.
Yes, I'll be happy to. And as I get into that, first, I do want to tell you happy birthday. Today is your birthday. But yes, the conversation started back in the fall. I met this donor at a retired teacher's breakfast and had a great conversation. And as we had discussions through the course of the academic year, a question came up of how can I support KISD? And that can mean anything from volunteering your time to monetary, to sponsoring a class, a teacher's class, or even a grade level to help with school supplies. And as we had more discussions, learned donor meant big picture, and that big picture being, hey, what's a district goal that is critical to the school district? And that's district goal 2, and that all kids are reading on grade level by grade 3. And so through those conversations, the donor said, I want to help support that, and came about that the donor's going to made the donation to fund one additional grade level leader per elementary campus. And we have 4 of those in KISD to come in, teach half the day. So they're going to have students they're responsible for with a focus on math and reading. And the other half of the day, they're going to support the other 3rd grade teachers and those students. And the commitment is for at least 5 years. And so in total, it's roughly $1.7 million. And we cannot thank this donor enough and that support and that partnership, because it's going to not just impact those current 3rd graders this coming year, but it's going to impact them generationally as they go through not just their schooling, but into adulthood.
That's one full teaching asset at each elementary school for 5 years down the road.
At least 5 years down the road.
That is just outstanding.
It is. It is unheard of to have that type of support. We have a lot of support in KISD, but for that amount of money, that is monumental and great. KISD.
Could you talk about maybe some of the benefits that's going to bring to those elementary schools, those elementary school students, and KISD?
Yes, I'm going to start first with our teachers. It's above and beyond what we have teacher-wise in 3rd grade. Our class sizes are capped at 22 to 1. And so with this additional teacher coming on board, it's going to lower class sizes. So they will all be well below 22 to 1 at every single campus. The other part of that is it's going to be the support for our other 3rd grade teachers, because this 3rd grade team leader is the content expert and usually a very successful teacher. And so they're going to really help our other teachers with their lessons and support for the students, identify those students that not only are struggling academically, but those students that we can advance to masters. And so it's going to impact all spectrums of our students, from ones that are struggling to the ones that are high performing. And this teacher will also have their own set of students and really impact that group of kids for math and reading. And so there are benefits on many different levels with this donation coming in to support all 4 elementary campuses.
How will the donation be administered?
It is, so when we receive a donation, it is tracked to the Texas Education Agency. We track every single penny, and it's reported in our financials yearly, audited statements by an external CPA firm. And so it goes into its own fund. We track it through the coding that's required of the state of Texas, and it's reported. And so every dollar in is tracked as it goes out. And we are able to monitor that and see to the penny of what's been received and also what's been expensed for those employees.
KISD also received a designation from the state of Texas. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, it's about an 18-month process. If I believe you're referring to our early college high school designation.
Yes.
And I've been here for 14 months and working with our teachers and getting feedback from our teachers and principals and students, what pathways are out there that we can really support our students. And so we went through an analysis of looking at what we have. We currently offer 12 industry certification pathways in KISD, which is the most in the area. And so instead of trying to expand that, we thought, what can we really do to support our students? And some of those industry certification pathways are auto mechanics, where they can earn all the licenses needed to work in a body shop or mechanic shop, to a pilot license, and they can graduate with a full-blown private pilot license, to even cybersecurity and some others. And so as we went through this evaluation and working with our principals and students, it came about that adding an associate's degree pathway would be very beneficial to our kids. College is getting very expensive. And so graduating from high school, if you don't have any credit hours and you're going to a public or private university, it's going to cost quite a bit of money. And so what we wanted to do was provide another pathway, if the student chooses so, to earn up to 60 hours of college credit. And so we were one of 10 school districts in the state of Texas to be approved by the Texas Education Agency to roll this out in the 25-26 academic year. So our 7th grade students who just finished their school year, they're going to be the first cohort to have this opportunity to earn up to 60 hours of college credit. And all those hours transfer to all Texas public universities and most of the private universities in the state of Texas.
You mentioned you'd been here 14 months, so that's really one full school year.
It is. It's
Uh,
been a great school year.
Can you maybe look back and reflect on where we are now, where KISD rather is now, and what you've seen over the past year?
Yes, really, I'm going to brag on our teachers. Feedback when I started in May last year, I went to every single campus, every department. I asked 3 questions. What do we keep doing? What do we stop doing? And what do we start doing? And from there was 4 or 5 things that emerged in all those categories. And so that's what we focused on. One of them was stop adding to the plate and focus on things we do well and supporting our teachers and professional learning communities. And what that means is it's not a program, it's our practice. Whether you're a doctor and you're looking at patients' results, you're a teacher looking at your students' results. And so how can we support our teachers in that process and make it easier for them? And so over this last academic year, our early STAR data results show we've improved our academic performance just on STAR by roughly 6 or 7 points increase. And we'll be a mid B to high B average school district in total, hopefully do that A in the coming year or two. But it's great for us. And then the other key focus was telling our story. There are so many great things that happen in Kerrville ISD. And if you don't have students, you typically are not signed up for a newsletter. And so it was, how can we tell our story and get people in our schools that don't have students in our schools or grandkids in our schools? And so we did a lot of partnering with Leadership KISD or Leadership Kerrville and Leadership Kerr County so they can come in our schools, getting parents back in our schools with different programs, social media presence to get information out there to the community of all the great things happening and really highlighting our students and our teacher success. And just to highlight that, for the first time ever this past year too, we received the Financial Transparency Star from the Texas Comptroller, noting that we go above and beyond in providing financial information to our stakeholders and on the website that you don't have to submit a PIA request for. You can just go on there and pull data yourself and see data and how we spend every single dollar. So there's been many great things that have occurred over this past year.
Anything that particularly surprised you about KISD?
I had not lived here. I had been coming to this area since the late 90s, and I believed it to be true before I moved here. And the greatest surprise and what I believe to be true is the amount of support for KISD. There's a lot of history and tradition, and TFND is real. You've got grandparents, parents, kids that have gone through Kerrville ISD, and everybody is TFND. And the amount of support in this community is bar none. That's not standard across the state because there's so much history of family members connected to our schools, have lived here for so long. And so TFND is real. And that has been, I don't know if we're surprised, but something that coming from the outside in and seeing the belief of it, it is real and it's true.
You and I both grew up in Texas public schools.
Yes.
And we were both big believers in Texas public schools. And I think I've shared with you, my mother was a teacher, administrator, et cetera.
Yep.
So I have some familiarity, and we both believe that this is a model that works. One, obviously, when you have a donor base, when you have a teacher base, when you have a parent base, when you have a student base, but it's more than simply that. It's transparency, it's auditability, it's credibility. Could you
Yes.
say a few words about all of that?
I can. As you noted, I grew up in Texas public schools, graduated from Amarillo High School, went to the United States Military Academy at West Point, and they're a huge believer in public schools, not just in Texas, and finished out at UT Austin. But with Texas public schools, there's a lot of transparency. In the last 2 weeks, Governor Abbott tweeted for the business community that is looking at Texas that the graduation rate in Texas public schools is 91%. It's the 5th highest in the country. And that means they're passing their STAR exams. That means they're on grade level. That means that they are ready to enter the workforce, whether that be college, career, or military. And so there are so many great things happening with industry certification pathways. As I mentioned earlier, we have 12 at Tybee High School. And so that is supported by state funding and our local taxpayer funding. The early college high school supported by state funding and local taxpayer funding. And so There are so many opportunities in Texas public schools for kids that would not exist if they were in a different environment. And the great thing with that is you can see how we spend every single dollar. Everything's reported, everything is audited to the penny. And I'm a taxpayer here, and I want to know how money's being spent too. And so we want to be efficient with our funding and equitable with our funding and how we support our kids and our teachers. And just having that transparency is vital and key, really, as a taxpayer, to know what are you doing and is it working.
Could you say a few words about the partnerships you've developed or already in existence with both local businesses and Schreiner University?
Oh, yes, we have a great relationship with Schreiner. I'll start with them. We partner with Dr. McCormick and his team are amazing leaders and great friends of KISD. And so we have everything from academic partnerships to even looking at the future of pathways that we might be able to align with our students and supporting our local businesses, from Killdeer Manufacturing to Mega Crete that's coming in, Clint Orms, who makes the world-renowned belt buckle maker. And so we, local businesses, and having those partnerships, we are looking at what within our pathways can we offer our students to get them into the workforce if they choose to do, and not just into the workforce, but into a well-paying salary career in the workforce. And so we've from local businesses to corporations, and working with the Kerrville Economic Development Corporation, and having those relationships, it has opened many doors, many discussions that are taking place now, and will continue to take place to see how we can support our students. That way, our economy locally, when they graduate, they can contribute immediately if they choose to do so.
Well, I, for one, am greatly looking forward to the 24-25 school year and can't wait to see what we come up with next, Dr.
Yes,
Ringo.
it's going to be a great year. And to highlight too, I know I've been talking about academics quite a bit, but athletically, where our football team had a great season, lost that first round of playoffs, but baseball made it all the way to the state semifinals. Our girls golf team was a top 10 team in the state, played in the state tournament. Fine arts, from our orchestra receiving all ones at their competition to our band. There are so many great things beyond the academics that are happening for our students, and we're looking at ways that we continue to support that and expand those too.
Dr. Ringo, unfortunately, we're near the end of our time, but I wanted to thank you again for coming to visit with us.
I appreciate the invite, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.